Hey, how y'all doing this morning? I came to tell y'all about the morning that I had. First of all, y'all know we woke up to it was pouring here all this morning, and so you got to move a little bit different, with the kids and everything. When it's raining on these days, because I don't know what this screen doing or whatever, but it's acting up. I can't see anything on it. Oh well, I guess. Well, anyways, um, I was coming on here to share with y'all, and I know I'm late. Y'all ain't gotta tell me. I'll be all over the place. I'll be telling y'all this life be lifing over here. But anyways, you ever be talking to one of your good old people on the telephone who sometimes you be just as wrong as two little shoes, but it's what I feel like right now. Like for instance, on the mornings you be going through with your daughters. Like this one, I got, my kids. And you give them rules and you tell them, no, you can't, you ain't wearing no makeup nowhere. We don't do that. You ain't old enough to be wearing no makeup. So, they be already knowing the rules and everything, and then but they still gotta, they gotta try you and see what you're gonna do. So this morning, everybody out the house, we all sitting in the car, and I'm just like, we waiting, we waiting, we waiting. Like, where's this girl at? We waiting, we waiting, we waiting. She hurry up and come flying out the house in the rain and everything. I was coming, I was coming. I was using the bathroom. I know better than that right there. She hurry up and jump in the car. Well, you can't really tell nothing. But honey, I got that all seeing eye when you run past me in a flash. I'm paying attention because you're moving funny. Now I done told this child, you can play with your makeup on the inside of the house, but when you leave the house, we ain't doing that yet. She come out the house now. She is allowed to wear lip gloss. We come out the house. This sister got on full blown brown, bronze, whatever you want to call it. She all painted up. I ain't even have time for it. But a part of you want to be petty because these children be out here trying you. I just hurry up and whip me out old good old nasty napkin. No, it wasn't nasty for real. It was a clean napkin. I whipped that napkin out and throwed it on the throwed it on the table. I mean into her hand and say, "Girl, get that mess, get that mess off your face right now." So yeah, but be playing you like as if you don't know, what what you talking about. She said, "It ain't this ain't no lipstick, this lip gloss." I don't care what it is, just wipe it off your face. But sometimes you be feeling like you want to just be so petty or whatever. So you gotta talk one of your friends and it's like, why I always got to be the good one? You know you be wrong already, but I actually have friends that sometimes have to remind me, Shauna, because you are the parent. you can't you can't act like that. You are the parent. Dang. Anyways, but kids be trying. They be try. They have to every now and then. Have to. Just have to. And then I'm trying to get out to the garden today, and every time it was like playing a double dutch with the rain. Every time you get ready to jump out the door and go out there, then the rain coming back along with the thunder and everything. So, I've been trying to get out there, but I guess my timing ain't none of God's timing. So it is what it is. We'll get there when we get there. Um Now, I went on to, and for you all that don't know, sometimes she come through. Hey Savannah, how you doing, girl? um Sometimes there's someone that comes through every now and then named Selena. I'll go over there because she has some good conversations and stuff going on. So I went over and I joined her panel the other day, and we had a good conversation. And so this morning I thought about Selena asked me on her panel, um, do I truly forgive these people for the things that they did to me? And man, when she asked it, I thought I'd answer it there, but sometimes you answer something and then you go back and you think about it some more, and then it's like that's a loaded question, because with some of these instances that happened to me, I absolutely do feel like I forgave some of these people, and some of them I hadn't thought about them in years because I haven't seen them since I was 14, 15 years old. I haven't seen them again in life. So some of them you forget about them, you don't even think about them until their name come up again. And all the memories come pouring back from those situations. But some of those situations I felt like I faced them, or I talked about them at least and started going through the process. But I feel like I had forgiven some of those people for some of those things. But as I was explaining to Selena, is that sometimes you can feel like you forgive somebody, but I feel like there's different levels of forgiveness. I don't know, I might be wrong, but in my opinion, there's levels of it. Because if you haven't come, and I guess that it's all according to how, what you feel forgiveness is, or what is the definition of forgiveness. Oh, y'all, I just thought about, I did not go and pull up my my definition yesterday. Let me write a note down and said that I was going to go and look up the definition of karma yesterday, and I didn't do it. But anyways, there's different levels of forgiveness, in my opinion. That's what I think. Just going through the things that I went through before. So let's say one of these people, I thought maybe I had forgiven them, right? But I haven't seen them or thought about them. So, and say you have seen a person, or no, I can't even use that. So let's just say in some instance I thought maybe I had forgiveness there, but actually I hadn't even started the process yet, because I hadn't thought about these people, because I haven't seen them in almost 30 plus years now. And so then when it's put on the table talking about forgiveness, can I actually forgive these people? Because I don't even know because I haven't saw them face to face. I almost feel like I got a level of like, if I ain't seen a person, I done heard about them or whatever, and I'll be like, I forgive them for what they did. I can get past it. Okay, like I can use an example of like, there was a situation happened between me and somebody else, at a long time family friend, but also a church member. But anyway, she came and she took something. Um, and pretended as if she didn't know where it was, and just continued to lie about it. So at a certain point, I did thought that I had forgiven her, but then she did something else. I felt like I forgave her for that, but then at another point, I was like, there is no more forgiveness for her. Forget her. In my mind, you know what I'm saying? Because like, and not that I don't forgive her, I just don't want to be around her no more. So I hadn't thought about her in a long time because she said some things about me that I just thought didn't make no sense. But anyways, I thought I had forgiven her, but then when like a time came around and I was gonna be around her, it was like I almost felt like all of those things come back. But it's like if you're trying to forgive somebody but they still doing the same thing over and over again, like is can you really forgive them? I don't know. I'll just be trying to go through my whole process, but I can feel like I have forgiven some of these people. And I don't know what, if I didn't forgive them, I don't know what they actually can do to um to make me want to forgive them. But I got a level of forgiveness. I'll say that. I got a level of forgiveness. Now, what I don't know and what I'm afraid of when it come down to forgiveness is if I did become face to face with a person that has violated me. In my opinion, I feel like that level of forgiveness can fly out the window because I don't know what I'm gonna feel when that person is standing there face to face. So I'm gonna write down karma and forgiveness for my, because when she asked me that, I really do, because there's also times with the things that I went through, and not saying that I ever act on any of these things, because once you come into the realization that you've gone through, well, not the realization that you've gone through these things and know nothing, because you've gone through them. Once you start going through like the healing process of it and everything, it's like you don't. Oh, let me see how I'm trying to explain it. It's there in the vault, but the door closed on the vault, so it really can't get out of there. Something comes along and it triggers it, and then you know that it's there, and you just ain't thought about it in forever. You actually forgot about it. You want to forget about it. You wish you could just never ever imagine to hear about it ever again in your head. Um, it's kind of like that. um, But the name of her video is what's going on in these as the world YouTube turns world. So you want to check Selena's page out over there. She has really good conversations and stuff over there. But she asked me, do I forgive any of these people? In one of them, I can say I talk about and I tell the things about the different stories and situations that happened with my mom. I feel like I feel like I have forgiveness for my mom. I also have understanding is that I can see it now. It's like, dang, if my mom was doing this stuff to me, it means that somewhere along in her life it was normalized to her that this type of stuff happens or whatever. And she wasn't taught the right way to deal with these situations, or whatever. So I do have forgiveness for her. The only thing is all I have is my truth. And well, I just dropped something just from ago. All I have is the truth about what happened. I just don't have my mom here to be able to have those conversations with her. That's true. That happens to me too. Especially, I try to forgive you and move past things, but then you show the same behavior towards me again, which led to the original problems between us. Oh, right. So it's like when it comes down to that right there, it's like, and I guess it's true because I have to go and get the definition of what forgiveness is. Um, and probably read up on a little bit more into the Bible about what forgiveness is. The most I know about forgiveness in the Bible is that um unless you forgive, you won't be forgiven, so that's as much as I know about that. Again, over here I told y'all I'm not no Bible scholar. I don't mind people giving me no verses or anything like that. I've actually read the whole entire Bible. Do that mean that I understand it because I read the whole thing? You know how sometimes you read something and like, wait a minute, these directions don't make no sense whatsoever, and you have to read it. Like every time you read something, you get a little bit more understanding every time you read it. Child, you gotta read. I feel like I gotta read that by 4, 5 more times to really, really understand it, and I still ain't gonna understand it all. But anywho, anywho, I'm gonna learn as I go. But yes, I don't truly know when I have forgiveness, but what I do believe is I forgive as much as I know how to forgive. Hey, Corinne. I forgive as much as I know how to. And I try really hard to not, if it's something that somebody else did and I've done it before, I also try to give that person grace because I've been there before. But I feel like there's a grace period on grace. You can't keep getting grace every day because you want it. After a while, that I feel like there's a grace period for it. It's kind of like if you walk up to the stove as a parent, you teach your kid when you introduce them to the stove, the first thing you tell them is this thing is really hot. This stove is very hot, so be careful of how you touch it. They get that warning the first couple of times they introduce to the stove. But it's only so long before they have to get that experience of touching that heat that teaches them you don't never want to touch that hot fire again because, they forget. I need to move. But once you feel that heat, I don't know what my computer is doing here. You don't have access to these features. I don't know why this is doing this. Anyways, it's like um I can yeah, I don't know why this doing this the way that it is, but anywho, it don't even look like my screen like my screen is on, like I'm looking at y'all but not looking at y'all, so it's like it's clicking off, but I know it's on because I have a second device going here. But anywho, uh forgiveness, I really don't know if I have it. I do try to forgive, but to me it's hard to it's like I feel like if a person keep doing the same thing over and over to me again, in order for me to forgive you, sometimes that means I need to cut you off and move on about my life, and we don't need to I can love you from a distance. We don't need to be close to one another or whatever. I got you, I love you, but this is where we gonna end it at because how many chances do you give somebody to run you over? Okay. And then there's sometimes, this is another point because I actually wrote down a little bit of notes so I can, the person that came and hugged me at my mom's funeral that did what he did, right? After that happened, there's like a certain point where I was just like, I also know now, looking at it, that at, after that point, the last time that I ran into him, I definitely know that the next time, if there is a next time, we are ever in another room together, the energy that I'm going to show up in the room with will be one that he absolutely probably would not be able to stand in that same space with me, because I am a different person. Not because he changed, because see, one of the things that I seen by going back and revisiting my process is I already knew at the moment, just by the way that he hugged me, that the same way I went down memory lane in my head of thinking about the things that he did to me, he also had the same process, which we can look at it as they're going back and revisiting it in a perverted way, which they could be. But I also know that the look on his face was he didn't think that he would ever run into me again. And I also understood that going back and just revisiting that day again, I also knew that he didn't he was in such an uncomfortable position at the moment because he hadn't seen me at this point probably about 15 years. And for him to run into me and walk up to me and offer or even try to touch me, the confusion that was on the inside of him was he didn't know whether I was going to receive the hug or whether I was going to come out of the bag on him. He didn't know what he was going to get. So he was very, very nervous. Hey, TMB Monkey Man. Um, he didn't know whether I was going to come out of the bag on him or whatever. All he just thought was, I don't know. I can't even say what all he was thinking, but I can feel the energy off of it now, thinking back. Hmm. Um, it ain't what I thought it was with him. Hey, Shauna. It ain't what I thought it was. And you would have to go through the experience to know what I'm saying, because you all seen where my healing process started at. But it's like you go through, it's just like I just said about reading the book. Sometimes I can read a book and I don't get the full understanding of what I'm reading right then, and you have to read it 3 times. Let's just say, for instance, like if you read a fortune cookie, sometimes you can read them, but it's like it don't make sense. There's a lot of things that I can read in that first. When I read it the first time, it doesn't. I don't get the full understanding of it when I read it the first time, but I can read it like maybe 2 or 3 more times, and it starts to make more sense. To me, it's like that. The situation plays over and over and over again in my head, and I pull something from it every time. The first thing that you do, is you go through the crying process for the little person that's on the inside of you that didn't get to heal from that situation. Period. You go back and you feel sorry for that little girl because you feel like ain't nobody feels sorry for her, nobody didn't protect her, whatever. You go through all of those things right there. Then you go through the emotions of I want revenge. Then you go through the emotions of, and the revenge part is, mm, the revenge part is definitely a up and down battle. Though I've never ever made any moves towards doing anything, I can definitely tell you my mind has definitely been idle at certain points in my life where I've actually listen, I've actually been in a car ride with someone that has been violated in a different way by the same person that violated me in another way, right? We're riding down the road, and this is after everything. So let me tell you, if two people that been violated by the same person and you get in a car ride together, we riding down the road and we talking and we talking and we talking. I'm talking to the person on the side of me, and this person says, let's do X, Y, and Z to this person. And I say to him, and yes, this is a guy that I'm talking to. And I just kind of kept it light or whatever that we talking about it. I'm like, I was like, yeah, that sounds real good. That we can do that, right? We can do that. We on the way, we on the way to Wally World, Walmart, and he's telling me what we can do. Let's do this and let's do that. And I was like, yeah, that sounds really good. And then I say to him, I say, but if we do those things, I say, dang man, I got my 14 kids, and I'm here trying to take care of my auntie that done had a stroke, and then my husband. And I was like, dang, I'm gonna leave all of that to go and do that over there. I say, then you got your car, all the things you don't work for, you want a family and all of that. And I say, we gonna lose all of that if we decide to go and do this over here. I said, you can't believe that people that do people the way that they did us, you can't think that they're going to live in peace and harmony. And we out here feeling like we the damaged goods that they done sent to the bin and dent store where you can go and buy canned goods cheaper. Um, and it's not the truth. So you kind of have to let the process take its own. And sometimes, to be honest with you, I'll be like, God, you moving too slow. And you feel like you don't want to wait on you don't want to wait on it. And so it's like it's taking forever. But a lot of times that I felt like it's taking a long time for karma to happen, when it actually does happen, it's almost like it's never as pleasing to you as you thought it was going to be, because by the time you make it through your process and your healing space, then comes around the corner. And I'm not asking anybody to have any sympathy, any, for someone who touches or violates kids. None whatsoever. But I am telling you that there's a place that you come to also in your life where you begin to think about, how did they get to this place? How did they get to a place of where they want to do stuff like that to kids? Now, when you open up that box of worms, whatever, and we don't play with bugs and worms and snakes and stuff over here like that. But what they call that is, I think it's Pandora's box. You open up that space and then you start to think, dang, I wonder what happened to them when they was a little kid. So I don't know. There's all these different processes and things that I go through. The only thing that I can tell y'all about is like, how I be going through these different situations and as they come to mind, because I tell you, it's like scatterbrain. It's like you scattered all over the place, because one day I could be thinking and everything can be totally peaceful. I'm going through, like, I'm skipping through the the fields, and everything is so lovely and peaceful, but then it comes the day when you skipping through that field of flowers that you come up on the snake in the garden, and that skip you was doing running through those beautiful fields. Y'all done seen the commercials and stuff. You running through the beautiful field of little children running through there, and then there's a snake in the grass. Always put a pause to you every time. So that's kind of like how it is over here. It's like I'm running through this place of peace, and I absolutely enjoy those places of peace. And then, not just because I don't deserve happiness or whatever, those little spurts of things be happening because that's how I get to my healing. Do I like going through those things? No, I don't like going through them, but I also know that in order for you to be healed from them, they have to come up and come out. So I guess how you deal with forgiveness is you work with it piece by piece as it comes to you. Because for a long time that was also something, because somebody said, well, if you don't forgive them, then God ain't gonna forgive you. So that kept me up for a long time, because now I done went to, I'm trying to heal myself. And I'm also carrying the burden that I can't forgive these people who did what they did to me at the same time. The devil is a liar. I'm not finna carry that burden too, because I don't feel like I forgive them right now. I hate them with every fiber of my being. And you telling me that I'm going to HE double hockey sticks because I don't forgive these people? Whew. So I went through a moment of where I just felt like if I didn't forgive these people, I just have to forgive them. And I also know that we all know in this real world that forgiveness just does not come overnight. It's according to what your situation is. And it's hard to forgive somebody when you can go back to those places and you know that had this one thing not have happened to me, then this thing over here wouldn't have happened to me. If you wouldn't have did X, Y, and Z, there's cause and effect. Cause and effect. So sometimes when you're on the road to forgiving somebody, all of those other things that pop up, because you do know when you violated in certain ways and stuff, it can bring about this thing called promiscuity where you free, because you've already been trained that, oh, this is what you here for, because everybody else has done it to you, so what's it gonna be to have one more, whatever. So there's a whole lot of things that you can feel like you're on your way to forgiveness, and those things pop out of the closet because you want to blame yourself for those things. It's like, yeah, you take some kind of accountability for it, because sometimes if you don't take accountability for it, it's hard for you to move from that place, understanding I do have control over who I give my body to. I do not have to do things this way. I need to switch it up. But you also go back and know that the cards you was dealt, you couldn't do nothing with them but play the hand that you was dealt. Nothing. Because you don't have no control over what you got going on at no 5 and 6 years old. Impossible. So just know, going through the process, there's going to be times that you can feel like you forgive said person, and there's going to be times when you're going to feel like you better not put me in a room with them. And I haven't mastered I haven't mastered that part um where I don't have those days. Yeah, hey Miss Coffee, how you doing today? Yeah, good morning to the high class gardeners. You made it home. um there lots of days. I'm gonna just tell you that it's a up and down battle. One day I can feel like I'm like totally healed or whatever from it, but um no, there's a lot of, I can see there's people that go through a whole bunch of turmoil, and it's been one person, and just because it's one person doesn't even make it less. I have 7 that I can remember that I have to go through and take ownership and forgive myself. And so far, I think I've only dealt with like three of them. So, it's going to be up and down days or whatever. And I'm going to ride the roller coaster until I'm free. Don't ever give up on you, though. No matter how hard and how rough it gets. And I'm going to tell you, the more you go through the process, the easier it gets to start to talk to other people about it. And no, it ain't nobody, contrary to popular belief, ain't no way I just jumped up one day and said that I'm coming on YouTube to talk to anybody about the violations that I had as a child growing up. It did not happen that way. By no means. Where you say crawl as a little baby, and then you jump up on you will first you wiggle around on your belly, then you come up on your knees, and then you start to stand up and try and walk, and then you start running. Well, my process went the same way. I started talking to people who I was comfortable with. It started with one person. It started with two people, then it started with three people, and then the more and more I start talking about it, the more empowered I feel to talk about it. The more empowered I felt to talk about it. Till I started talking to rooms with 15, 20 girls in it. So now I'm talking to people on YouTube about it. So there are steps to getting to that place. Start your baby steps. If you've already started talking to one person and just telling them about the hurt that you have on the inside of you, or about the violations that happened to you or whatever, speak it to the one person. You just don't even have a clue that you freeing yourself by talking to that one person about it. That one person will make you stretch and stretch and stretch. It's just like that seed that I say, put that seed into the ground. Let the seed you put into the ground be a representation of your breakthrough. When that seed break through that soil, claim it as your breakthrough. And if you wanted to be three, you get your three people, plant three seeds. Let it be your breakthrough. But you will start to feel more empowered as you tell your story and you talk to other people. You just don't already know. You can be standing in a room with 20 women in it, and you probably have one woman standing in that room that does not have the experience that we talking about right now. Maybe one. Lucky if you have one. And the ones that are standing in that room that don't have that to deal with, I wouldn't even call them lucky, because everybody got their weight or their burden that they have to carry. I know people that don't have, they had good lives when they said that when they was coming up with their parents or whatever. So they felt like they had the good life. Their mama let them, do a lot of stuff that they wanted to do. Didn't have no responsibilities, no any of that type of stuff or whatever. Meantime, we were standing to the window, looking out the window at all the other kids playing around and all of that kind of stuff. We wasn't allowed. We wasn't out like that right there and everything. But we didn't have experiences like they had them. Who wakes up in their house knowing that you were asleep and you woke up because you were allowed to go out to the clubs and stuff, hang out all night, and you were allowed to do whatever you wanted to do, but you came home and fell asleep and you slept on top of your kid and you didn't wake up. We had one set of issues. That's another set. Everybody has their cross to bear. in one way or the other. And just because ours look this way doesn't make us less of any of those other people that's walking around. So, you know, um, how do I forgive these people? Hmm. I don't know. I'm gonna keep walking in it one day at a time, and I can tell you tomorrow. I was like, yeah, one of the initials to the guy that kidnapped me before. His name is TD. I can say to you that I forgive him. I feel sorry for him, or no nothing. But I'm telling you, my kids, I can set up the scenario. My kids can be out playing in my yard, and I can see him standing to my gate, and just to know that he's standing there looking at one of my kids, all forgiveness has gone out the window. So you just never know, and I just encourage you to say to yourself, just keep praying over yourself. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do it. I done had experiences where I feel like I forgive people and then step in the building and they there again. And I'm like, you can feel those emotions come all back up again. So I actually don't know how to in those situations. And when these type of situations come up too, um, there sometimes is a lot of lying. And I'm guessing if I was on the other side of that, I would never want to admit that, yeah, I did that to somebody. But when you have a person that is standing there and they're not taking accountability for what they know that they did, and I'm telling you, nothing makes a person uh that has been violated more angrier than the person standing there and saying that they didn't do it. And you can tell the story, you can tell what they had on, you can tell what they smell like, you can tell everything about the room on that day, and it make you more and more angrier just to hear it. So again, I'm learning how to forgive every day I wake up and open my eyes. What is forgiveness? Oh, Miss Coffee, I can't even see what that let me look and see. I have to look some other kind of way because that thing be blocking. I don't know what's wrong with my computer today. I'm looking at now. I went live from my computer, so child, I do not know what I'm doing on here. The screen is black over here, and I had to actually go and log on to my phone to see what my screen is actually doing, because nothing is making sense over here. And now I just turned my phone on, and so, child, I don't even know. But okay, now I can see it. Thank you for moving it up, Miss Coffee. You did just what you made it to my account. Um, what you did, Miss Coffee? I ain't get no notification or no nothing that something that had happened. Um, I was quite early. Not you, me. Oh, oh, made it to the computer. Okay, then I got you. But yeah, I don't. That was my day, and then that's what I woke up thinking about. Getting to forgiveness, y'all. I don't want to go to hell, so I'm learning how to do it. And so far, what I'm doing is I also heard and read in the Bible that it says, if your conscience does not bother you, neither will I. See, I have a conscience, so and I'm telling y'all how my conscience mess with me if I ain't doing the right things that I'm supposed to do. It often I get dealt with in my sleep. See, I know when God dealing with me, When it come down to my sleep, it's something, and all I do is every time it's got to do with my sleep, I just automatically sit up on the side of the bed. Okay, what is it? What is it? Let me go ahead and answer to you right now because I know how this is going to go. What is it? So, or most of the time, I already know, especially if I've done something that, and most of the time, it's be like I done said something, and it don't be wrong. It don't be wrong in what I said, but sometimes it can definitely be wrong in how I delivered it. I do sometimes deliver certain messages in the wrong way, and I don't mind admitting. I don't mind admitting to that either. So when I do those things, I give a level. You know how you say I said what I meant to say. I meant to say what I said, but I could have delivered it to you in a different way. I ain't taking back none of what I said. I'm just telling you that I could have delivered it a different. Yeah, I have to do that every now and then. Like and sometimes I won't even offer it in that way because if you coming to me and I'm giving you, this is one of those situations, somebody coming to you and they asking you for the recipe and they done came and asked you for that same recipe 6 times. I'm not giving it to you again because you should have wrote it down or you should have put it up. And this 6 times I done gave it to you. No, you ain't gonna be baking that red velvet cake this time because I'm not giving it to you. No. So it comes to those points. So it's like I don't wanna give you the information anymore because I've already tried to give it to you, and then you in a situation where now you don't, you're like in a standoff. Now this person, because they didn't want to write your recipe down, they done put something in the oven and made a whole cake explode inside of the oven. Oh, you finna get a couple of cuss words, a rebuking, and everything all at the same time. And because I won't give it to you, the recipe no more, you just gonna go up in there and concoct some stuff and blow the whole kitchen up. You understand? I'm giving you a scenario so you understand where I be done got to before I be done popped off like that. And I still can go back and say, like, I didn't have to say it that way, but you done annoyed the hell out of me because I done tried to tell you 150 times and you don't like to listen. Y'all excuse my ranting because it ain't really about that. It's about some other things. See, when you got grown children around you or whatever, you have to talk to other grown folks that understand that you got other grown folks that be at your house and they just be like, kids be like entitled to everything. They don't, they so used to their parents doing stuff, but you don't forgot like you grown now and you here, you responsible. I'm not your mother anymore. It kind of be like in that way. I'm not your mother anymore. You're a grown, you know, oh no. You just be like, ooh, you gotta sign in sheet. I wanna be a signing in sheet mom. I just wanna be the mama to, yeah. Anybody got any of their grown children living with them? They understand what I'm talking about. I ain't talking about the little ones now. I'm talking about when you got your grown children that still be trying to act like, oh, mom, you don't love me no more. No, it ain't that I don't love you no more. I just ain't finna love you this like this right here no more because you're not no baby. You're not under 18 years old. You know what I'm saying? You're not even under 20. And let's not even hit the 30 mark. Ooh, kids. I don't be like that lady right now. Oh my god, it is so much going on too with that. I just thought about that. The girl who gave her baby, her kids to CPS or whatever. Oh Lord, that's a doozy. But they got a whole lot going on about that. I see that all over the place. But that's what I be wanting to do with my grown kids sometimes. Not the young ones. Give the grown ones to CPS. Hello. Okay, then they doing an interview. They doing an interview with Judge Fee tonight. Y'all go check out Judge Fee's channel, Judge Fifi. Let me see what Miss Coffee. Let me put you as a moderator right quick so you can put that put it in the chat for me, please, ma'am. Put her channel in the chat so that we can y'all go over there and check out. She got an interview. She has an interview tonight with that with the lady that is that gave her kids away to CPS. Um, ooh, I don't know if I could do that. Cause boy, we had hell when the lady came there when CPS showed up to my house before, and she actually told me that she was gonna take my kids because I told her if I done told so many different stories on this thing about some stuff that done happened to me. Um, a CPS worker came to my house one time and she asked me, she said, if one of your kids had if one of your kids had cancer, would you accept the treatment for them? I said, I told her I didn't know whether I would accept the treatment for them or not. I said I would have to pray about it and go from that point. Honey, she didn't like my answer. And because she didn't like my answer, she went storming off to her car and said, well, I'm taking your kids. Hmm. And she had one police officer standing there with it. And I told the police officer, I said, "Oh, so you just gonna let her say that because she don't like the?" And she gave me a hypothetical question, and I gave her a hypothetical answer because I don't have a kid that has cancer. So you can't ask me what I would do, what the hell I would do if I had a kid that had cancer, because you talk to a parent that has a kid that has cancer. I got a god sister that went through leukemia. You think you know what you're gonna do when you get in that situation. You don't know what you're gonna do. So you can't ask me no question like that and tell me what you think I should answer to or whatever. She went storming to her car. I told that police officer, I said, I tell you what, if you thinking y'all gonna take my 7 children up out of here and you the only officer standing here, I say, sir, I'm telling you, you're gonna need an army, because it ain't gonna work with you trying to walk out of here with my 7 kids and it's only one you. I say, do you understand me, sir? He said, yes, ma'am, I understand you. He said, but I don't think we're gonna have to go there. He was a very nice officer, but I was letting him know, Mama Bear finna come out of here and claw the hell out of y'all people if you think you finna take my kids off of a hypothetical question. But anyways, I stood there and I waited for her to come from out of her car. Miss Coffee put the link in the chat, y'all. So y'all check out Miss Fee, Miss Judge Fifi's channel. I'm not familiar. I don't know what time it started at 3 o'clock. Her interview at 3. Okay, then I'm gonna be there to watch. But so I would hate to say um I raised 14 and I've had CPS called on me before, but even when they called them on me before, I ain't never had the will to give up one of my kids. Never. So, I don't know. But then too, what would be the conversation if she took the option of not? I don't know the circumstances because I just been hearing a lot about it and I haven't took the time to sit down and think about why did she give her kids to him. I haven't seen it. I just been seeing a whole bunch of talk about it, not really stopping to see what anybody has said about it. So I have to go and look and before 3 o'clock so I can at least be caught up on it. This here what's gonna say. Hopefully they're gonna start like from the beginning of it and then go, because when you're a mom of 14, it's like just to hear it, But I also don't want to be judgmental, because there was a time when I was going through something, and my husband had never heard me speak in that way ever about any of my kids. I was going through such a horrible time in my life. I woke up one day and my husband was like, and I said to him, I said, give our kids to your sister. And the pressures of having a wife going through that type of situation where you see she's the one moving, doing everything, going to school with the kids, doing this, doing that, everything was about the kids. And all of a sudden she's in a place of where she's saying, give the kids to your sister. So even in my lowest of times, I ain't never thought give my kids to CPS. Never. But what would be the conversation if she felt like she was going to harm them or whatever, and she didn't use those options? I don't know where she was at the time. Was she going through something? Because women sometimes can be spiteful as hell. Maybe she could have been doing it because she mad at somebody else over here or whatever. I don't know her reasoning for doing it. So I'm gonna go and look it up and see. And I think they said that it started from off of TikTok. I don't know. And yes, Miss Coffee, um, as long as VS got something to do with it, the questions are going to be put on the table. So I'm definitely going to be there for that interview, because I want to know. And for right now, I'm gonna say my stance is, if her kids are alive and they well and she didn't harm them, um I'm glad she made the phone call, until I find out later. Now, if it's something else that went down with that, then after tonight or whatever, I trust and believe. After I find out what's going on, I don't know what my opinion gonna be done been said. I've been asked the question before. Would you give a kid back that you got from the foster care system? And first thing that hit me in my stomach is because my mom was given away, and I know I'm at this moment I'm taking care of kids that they parents gave them away or whatever. And so I know what kind of hurt that brings. And so of course my first answer is hell no. I think that's wrong towards the kids. But I also too believe that you have to know what you built for and what you're not built for. And if that kid ain't the right fit for you and you doing something that is considered a job, all right. I ain't never worked for child. They done tried to set me up before with these ladies that was trying to talk me into doing foster care. Honey, I cannot be in it for the money, because no ma'am. See, I got a certain way that I run my house. Um Yeah, y'all know what I'm talking. No, no, ma'am. Now if you let me raise them, and then you just pay for their food, I'll do the rest of it. But you can't tell me how to do everything else that I need to, because you have to be able to bring some correction to these kids, because they say one bad apple can spoil a bunch. Have you ever seen that effect? If you got multiple children in your house, if you let one kid get away with doing something, then you got a whole line of them standing there watching. Ooh, how do I know? Because I did it. I saw my brother make one move in our house. And honey, when my brother made the move that he made, oops, oh, I can do that too. I can do that too. So the saying is very true. If the rest of your kids see that person doing that, honey, you got a whole nother thing to deal with in your house. So when with each one that come in, you dealing with a whole new person. You don't know how you're gonna have to deal with them because you got some of them that learn just by such and such got in trouble over here. I ain't doing that. I don't want to do that. I got even a story. Even my little nephew was with us at one time, and I remember this one time I was going through gestational diabetes, so I was taking the insulin shots in the stomach. And my one time he was watching me give myself the shot. And he was like, "Oh, auntie, I hate needles and everything." So I said to him, I say, and I'm giving myself the shot, but I'm just joking around with him or whatever saying something. He say, but he was during the time he was acting up in school, getting in trouble. He said, "Oh, I hate needles, auntie. I don't like getting no shots and no nothing." I told him, I say, "Well, the next time you get in trouble in school, I said I'm gonna have to give you a shot with one of my needles." He go to school and he talking to one of the teachers about something he done did in school that day. He told the teacher, "Please don't call my auntie because she say she gonna give me a shot. Ooh, she gonna give me a shot with her needle if I get in trouble in school." Not a school calling. And I had to explain to the lady, "Wait, hold on, wait a minute, lady. I absolutely did tell him that because see, I can't make my nephew out of a liar, no matter what kind of trouble I'm about to get in for saying what I said, because I did say it. And there is people who love to try and make kids be out of a liar and knowing they did what they actually did. I hate that. I hate it with a passion. If I see you do something to a kid and then you go and lie and say you didn't do it, and I'm standing right there, honey, you probably have to call the law because I'm gonna lose all of my marbles. I hate it with a passion. I hate it. Hate to see grown people make little kids into liars, knowing that they did what the kid. We ain't gonna even get into that. But anyways, I done lost focus on what it was that I was saying because that one right there was fat. I make me 58 hot, whatever that is. But anywho, um, but we'll see. We'll see what her reasoning was, and some of y'all may already know. I just don't know. I don't know what her reasoning was, and I think somebody had her family on there. I was trying to get into it while I think Neek at Night had they family. I could be wrong. I don't really know is that her family or something, but I think that was the kid's daddy or something. I was trying to get into that, but then I had a whole bunch of other stuff going on, so I had it playing in the background, but really couldn't pay attention to it. Then they had a whole bunch of confusion up there, whatever, and I ain't know. I lost. I couldn't keep up with what the hell they was talking about over there, so I was like, "This, I just got to shut it down," because it's like everything become all uh, scrambled and everything. So I'm just like, yeah, I can't watch it right now. So maybe I'll catch up with it with what happened. I'll probably go to TikTok and try and find it from there and see, what was her reason. And so at least I can be abreast just a little bit before the interview starts to happen. So you all, I don't know what this Mayweather is going to do, but Miss Coffee, I might need your help now. You asking me how to plant different stuff, honey, over that because I think I done shriveled my plants up over here with these grow lights or whatever. For one thing, they ain't have no air circulating in here, and we got them in here, so I didn't, and now the air conditioning is put in here, so it's like it's more regulated now or whatever. So I don't know, some of the plants still looking good and some of them like shriveled up looking. I'm gonna have to show y'all, because I show y'all the good, the bad, and the ugly. But we gonna start looking at the good before we look at the bad. That's how we starting to roll over here. We done started the incubator over again, and I think we got 21 eggs inside the incubator. They have a due date of June 5th. All of them should be arriving. Um, and we done got our room climate controlled and everything. So everything should go tight and right this time. Sometimes we win some and sometimes we lose something. We just lost 18 eggs, trying to put an incubator in a room that's not climate controlled. So, anyways, we learned not to do that anymore. So, but we learning, and now we on the road to growing once again. But if you, this is Life with Tashanna over here, and they call me Shauna, Miss T, whatever it is, just call me Shauna. um, and over here we believe in growing all the time, all year round. Preparation, preparing for what is about to come. Okay, how do we do that? Making sure we got something planted out in the garden at all times. All times. Growing. And we take those things that we growing in the garden and we connect them to whatever it is, that a place that we want to grow from in our real life. Just why I say, when you put a seed into the ground, whenever you put the seed into the ground and you're expecting, okay, you starting school, let me plant a seed on the day that I start school. This is a good one right here for those of you all who want to go back to school or start getting ready to start school. Take you a seed, put it into the ground. Let the seed be a representation of how you want to go through your school, your course, or whatever you're about to go through. When that seed come above the ground, that's your breakthrough. It's go time now. I see it. You keep with you every time you water your plant, you're watering your success to succeed in school. Tie your growth to your growth. You understand what I'm saying? And when you do it that way your plant thrives and you thrive too. Maybe you may come home one day and you may see something's going wrong with your plant. Your plant may die out, but you still got a pack of seeds that had 15 seeds in it. Let your 15 seeds be your grace that you got left. It says a just man falls 7 times before he get it right. Just because you failed a test at school, this the beginning of the year, it don't mean you don't get to take the test again to see can you pass it. Put you another seed in the ground. If at first you don't succeed, dust yourself off and try again. You got to keep on going, So whatever it is that you're doing, tie it to your growth in the garden and your growth in your real life. And with that, we call ourselves the high class gardeners over here. And that just means we grow stuff in the yard all year round, but out in the garden, y'all know there'll be bugs, worms, and snakes, which none of those we don't play with. We don't play with them out in the garden, and we don't play with them in real life. In real life. So if you consider yourself or you want to be a high class gardener, continue to join us over here where we believe in growing, not just in the garden, but in real life. In real life. Keep on growing. So my cactus dirt overwatered by poor aloe. Oh, you can with your aloe, Miss Coffee, aloe, you can leave aloe sitting in water, and so over watering it, the aloe should not be a thing. I've had aloe that's just sitting in nothing but water for a long time. I guess it could have something to do with what kind of aloe it is, because I have aloe here too. I've had aloe everywhere I go. My grandma and them used to swear by it, so we use that on. They say we use that on everything. Yeah, you do. You do aloe to do your hair, aloe if you get burnt, aloe if you got a sore, aloe if you're trying to cure something wrong with your foot. You use that on everything. So no, we always keep. Yes, it's watering from the bottom. Yeah, it should do good. But I'm saying my a lot of my stuff is looking burnt up. My husband say it's because I don't have any airflow in it. That's what he said. So It didn't have no airflow in here. It's too hot, so it's just like it's baking the plants. They don't look bad, but I don't. A couple of them look shriveled up. Made me think that we done got we done got the squash vine borers in here. And to be honest with y'all, I done pulled up like three squash or zucchini, whichever ones it was or whatever. But they was all shriveled up, so I pulled them up out of there. Um, yeah, so that's what my husband was telling me, but instead I didn't. We put an air conditioner in here now, so hopefully that does it, or maybe I still need to do the fan. I have a fan in here. I ain't I don't think I need to run the fan and the air conditioner, but then maybe I could be wrong because again, growing on the inside is something I'm learning about right now. But again, I wouldn't be saying anything about this right now if my plants ain't talking to me. So my plants trying to tell me something is going wrong over here, Mom, and you need to fix it. So right now I'm in search of what am I doing wrong. It looked like I've stopped whatever was happening of them burning or whatever since we done changed the climate of the situation or whatever. But we gonna see. um, but soon I will show y'all those things, and we gonna go back on a garden tour because the trees are hanging and swinging everywhere. We done pulled up some things or whatever, but we ain't been able to do much of anything, besides we knocked those weeds and stuff down out there. The sunflowers are opening up, but we ain't been able to spend a whole bunch of time out there because every time we go outside, it's been raining the past couple of days, and we need it. So, and I also feel like that's God's way of telling me rest a little bit, Shauna, but I have a hard time doing that. So, but we gonna work that out too, cause that's called having balance. But you all, hopefully, I will see you all over at Judge Fifi's on later on today. Okay, Miss Coffee. If they keep on acting up the way they is, then I'm gonna definitely turn the fan back on them. And I'm gonna tell my husband to come and look at them once again today. But it looked like they done stopped doing the little burning situation or whatever. So we'll figure it out. um, but hopefully I see you all over at Judge Fifi's today for the interview with the young lady that gave her kids to CPS, so we can get this information and see if she made the right moves, and hopefully if she didn't make the right moves, how can we learn how to handle those situations in a different. Did she not have family that she could have gave them to? I don't know. Let me get off here before I start being judgmental. um and they ain't saying that I won't be a little bit later on. I don't know. I just gotta see what it is. But yeah, I don't know either. Let me go find out some information, y'all. But thank you all for being here over here where life is like a box of chocolate. Life with Miss Shauna. Now, that's life with Tashanna, really. But I'll see you all. Hey, Sharon Shay. See you later, Sharon Shay. But thank y'all for coming through and spending your time with me because you could have spent your time anywhere. But I'll check, we'll check back in a little bit later and see hmm, what we seen over on Judge Fifi's channel about this whole situation. I think I'm gonna have to have my notebook out. But we'll see. Talk to you later if you can do a quick after the interview. Yeah, I think this one right here, we're gonna have hey Angel. I think we're gonna come back and have to be like, y'all, come on, y'all now, so we can have a conversation. Y'all take y'all notes too. And this gonna be fun. What if we all had to write the same things down and everything? But after this is over with, after the interview is over with, then I'll fire up something. We come back over here and talk about it. See what happened. See what had happened. So but you all out of everything, let's see what we can learn from it. You never know what's gonna go on in this situation, who we gonna run into after the day that could be in some of these situations. So at least we'll have more information to give out, about what you should do in these situations. What are your options? But let's check it out after the interview is over with. See y'all over Judge Fifi at 3 o'clock. I think it is. Is that Central? But she gave y'all, Miss Coffee gave y'all the link in here. Actually, I'm gonna hit that link before I even get that. Before I'm gonna save that link so that I can go ahead and get on over there to her before that interview starts. But y'all, I will see y'all later. Thank you again.